Hello everybody, my name is Draconic, and it is almost the 4th in the United States of America. That means it's Independence Day, and it is the season to talk about these two cars. It's also recently been Canada Day, it's the Philippines, but America! It's America's Day today, okay? That's important for you to know. Play the Screeching Eagle one more time. Alright. This video is about two vehicles, the SSC TUATARA Aggressor and the Hennessey Venom F5. Both of these have comparable prices and stats, and today we are going to see which one comes out on top. And spoiler alert, it's going to get close. We have 10 categories today, from price, base stats, customizability, and races such as drag, highway, rush hour, circuit, cross country, Sophia Bay, and stats like stability to round out which car is best in Driving Empire. Let's get right into the video. Alright, so here we are in the dealership, and today we're going to look at the first major category of this 10 category event. It's going to be the price of the vehicle. So if we just go up and search right here, we're going to go to Hennessey, and we're picking the normal base Hennessey Venom F5. It's got great stats and price, and its price is $5 million flat for just the base car. Upgrades in themselves would cost a lot more, obviously, but we're just going off the base car price. And the Hennessey Venom F5 starts out at $5 million. Now let's compare that to the SSC TUATARA Striker. If we search it up here, you'll see that it's also in the dealership. It's a purchasable car. It's about the same price as the Venom F5, and that was sort of the goal. It's actually 5.5 mil, so it's 500k more. And we're going to end up seeing what that extra 500k gets you for a car like this. And that concludes the price category, but since it's pretty simple and the Venom F5 is cheaper, it gets the first point. Let's move on to category 2, base stats. And here we are onto the stats. This is a short category. The vehicle stat top speed is 310 miles an hour, 69% acceleration, 68% handling, and 54% braking. And those are some of the best stats in the game. But let's see how the SSC stats compare. For just 500k more, you can get worse top speed, worse excel, worse handling, and worse braking, but not by much. This vehicle is still really close. And that concludes the stats category. Unfortunately for the SSC, the Hennessey carries all the categories. But that's about it for this. Let's move on to the customization category. Alright, and here we are on our third category, customization. You can see the TUATARA has all the normal customization for engine, drivetrain that all the other cars do. Everything looks normal, so if you go back, the real difference is in appearance. I see you put the Hennessey up top in the bottom left. You can see all of the underglow for the TUATARA, and you can see all sorts of stuff that's different. Because when you go to appearance in the Hennessey, you see barely any categories. And whereas the categories are off the screen for the TUATARA, you can change headlight color, paint color, and everything. The Venom F5, it's got issue. You can only change the rims, and you can't even get rid of the metallic glossiness on the paint, which is another really annoying thing. But you can do license plates, and you can change the base paint color and rim color, and that's about it for the Venom. While the TUATARA has pretty much, I think, some of the most customization for any of the normal cars in DE, so it wins this round. Let's move on to the next round, which is drag race. We can have both the cars lined up right here, and as they go, it seems really close, and they pass the checkpoint at basically the same time. They finish out the race side by side, 5.59 to 5.66. Overall, this is a crazy close race, but it looks like the SSC takes this round by about half a second, which is crazy. On to the next round. And now we're on to category 5, highway race. Since this is another really close one, I have it side by side again. You can see that they look to get off to pretty much the same speed start. And it's looking pretty good so far. It's very comparable. You can see that the SSC actually crosses the first banner first, and it crosses under the bridge first. But right as it comes to the finish line, you can see the Venom F5 takes over, and it passes it just by 0.4 seconds, meaning the Venom F5 wins this category. Now let's move on to category 6, which is rush hour sprint. Here we can have both the cars side by side again. You can watch as they come around to the first corner basically at the same time. Their acceleration is almost indistinguishable based on how you shift the gears. We hit the boost pad on the first long straight, and we're able to take the wall right on to the next one. Both these cars are doing really well, and very similar again onto the jump. The Venom has a slight advantage, a bit of a bounce on both the jumps, but that's okay. The Venom's handling does come in handy here, and you can see it's just a bit quicker than the SSC around these corners. And as we're coming out, you can see that it's got about a 1 second lead at this point as we're coming around to the final corner. They're both pretty quick, but the Venom crosses the line at 37.5, and the SSC is 1.3 seconds faster at 38.8. That concludes this category. Alright, and now we're getting on to category 7, which is circuit race. Here I have the SSC in mini picture and the Venom in the big screen. You can see how they're both still similar in acceleration, but when it comes to the corners, the handling on the Venom is, I don't know if it's really good, but I think it's one of the best that I've ever driven with. I know it's not the best in the game, but this handling makes it really easy to do circuit. It's almost a little too easy because it can end up making a lot of the turns a bit unstable or a bit hard to manage. But if you're able to keep it consistent with the Venom F5, it's hard to go wrong with it. You can see as you drive around, you get up to speeds 340 miles an hour and slow down plenty and fast in time for that corner that leads into the tunnel here. The brakes and the handling on the Venom are so good that it's really hard not to win with this thing. I'm going to speed up the clip a little bit here, but it's pretty plain to see that the Venom F5 is going to come out on top for this race here. There's really no issues as it just glides through most of the corners. You can even see it take corners like that with ease, using all of the track. And now, the SSC does really good too, but it's just not the same when it comes to racing as the Venom F5 is. That is for circuit race anyways, but this is a pretty clean and solid win for the Venom F5, and it manages to take 1 more point away from the SSC. Let's move on to the next category. Alright, next up is category 8, which is cross country. They're side by side again because this is yet another really close race. The balancedness of the SSC and the combination of the handling and braking of the Venom go really well against each other, and this race is rather close to my surprise. It's really fun to drive the SSC on this race, and the Venom's also really good at what it does. It's pretty comparable. The starting first half, the acceleration is really a struggle with both of these cars, but the acceleration is still plenty good to get you where you need to go for these. They handle the bumps fairly well, and as we roll onto the long straight, you can see that the Venom will only just now start pulling ahead because of its higher top speed. Things are really close, and it ends up being that the Tuatara takes this race as a loss by just 0.3 or so seconds, which is really surprising because you'd think the Venom would be that much quicker. Maybe it was just a bit of a fluke with the times, but the Venom only just barely beats the SSC for cross country, showing that the SSC indeed is just plenty good for this race. That's about it for this one. Let's conclude this category and move on to the next category. Alright, here we are on our second to last category, which is Sophia Bay. Both of these cars are actually really good at this race, seeing as their top speed and acceleration and handling are all suited to this. The SSC gets a little bit of a jump on the Venom. It's in picture mode this time, and you can see that they both take the first corner pretty well. They both have great top speeds. Acceleration's also decent, and you need all those factors for this race because it's a giant loop, basically, with a lot of hard braking spots. Both of these cars are rather good at it, but it ends up being the Venom that comes out on top by less than a second, or about a second, which is to be expected for a higher top speed and far better handling. But still, the SSC puts up a really good fight, and if you like the SSC more, I'd say maybe even buy it. That's it for this event. Let's go on to the final category. Alright, here we are on the final category, which is drivability and stability. Now, personally, I actually prefer the SSC over the Hennessey because the acceleration and the handling feel more balanced to each other, while the Hennessey has so much handling that the acceleration doesn't feel quite right. That, and it's a little less stable and hard to control with the handling being so high that you can see slides just like that happen whenever you try to turn a little too much and the car ends up sliding. But overall, I'd give the final point to the SSC to give a final score of 7-3. Now, that was a really interesting competition, and I want to say hats off to both of the brands. But, of course, the Venom F5 does sneak away with the win on this one. And if you did enjoy this video, I would appreciate it if you leave a like, maybe drop a subscribe. Thanks for making it to the end. Maybe leave a comment letting me know you made it. As always, it's me, Draconic. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.